Hey, it's Chia from Brand24. Welcome back to the Social Recap, our rundown of all the latest highlights and trends in social media and digital marketing news. So today, let's start with Reddit. Reddit is a social news aggregator and discussion website that was created almost 13 years ago. So if you've ever submitted content to a discussion website, then you know how it works. You post your link, your image, or a few words, and then Redditors can upvote or download or just downvote the stuff that you post. It sounds like typical forum, but the specific thing about Reddit is that the people who post there are known to prefer anonymity, which is probably why they tend to interact in a much more direct way with a totally different set of rules when it comes to online etiquette. And Redditors are famous for disliking really branded content, but seeing as Reddit now has as many active users as Twitter, it's also the perfect place for brands and businesses to start conversations with their audiences. And the discussion website currently has 330 million monthly active users since April of this year. According to Alexa, not only is Reddit one of the top 10 most visited sites in the world, people also spend much more time there than on any other website. So that's even compared to the most popular adult content sites. So we can actually say that Reddit has become more engaging than porn. And that level of engagement is exactly what makes it the perfect place for businesses and digital marketers to put their content, so they can start conversations about their brand. But only if they can do that without being too branded, unless they really want to risk getting bashed by the Reddit community. And that's not something I would want. Online video content is also increasing every day, with a huge chunk of that getting distributed on YouTube. So there are actually so many videos that platforms like YouTube are using machines to help flag inappropriate ones before taking them down. And just in the fourth quarter of 2017, 8 million videos were removed from YouTube, and over 6 million of those videos were flagged by a machine. In addition, more than 9 million videos were also flagged by humans for various types of content violation. And Google has stated that it is committed to hiring 10,000 new employees by the end of last year to help filter inappropriate content. But with such an enormous amount of content being produced daily, brand safety is still an issue, especially with big brands like Nissan, Under Armour, and Hilton recently finding their advertisements appearing in the middle of some really controversial and extremist videos. All of the above-mentioned brands have paused their advertising activities on YouTube until the matter has been resolved. And as we all know by now, Facebook has been having a really tough time in the press lately, which has led to some speculation about future development as well as changes currently underway. So first of all, Facebook is currently making API changes that will prevent developers from being able to pull user data from the platform without express permission from each user. And one of the bigger changes is that all the developers will soon be required to use the standard sharing dialog when requesting to publish to a user's newsfeed on their behalf. The idea is that consistency will improve the user experience by making things more transparent and simpler for anybody who uses Facebook. And Instagram, which is owned by Facebook, is also tightening security by removing the ability to pull the names and bios of users who comment on your content. Plus, they've introduced a data download feature, so you can download your data and transfer it to a different photo sharing site at any time. Facebook actually already has a similar tool available. This was born out of sheer necessity in order to comply with the new GDPR privacy laws in the EU. And in addition to all of this, Facebook has made its internal community standards available to the public. After all the negative PR regarding data security, the last thing they need is more controversy. So especially with publications, the New York Times reporting misinformation spread on Facebook to have helped incite grave violence in areas like Sri Lanka. So the internal community standards will be accompanied by a new appeals process regarding Facebook content that has been found to violate their standards. And now here's a speculative question. How much would you be willing to pay to enjoy an ad-free version of Facebook that was just there to connect you, your friends, and your family? Well, Netflix costs about $11 per month, Spotify Premium about $10, and how much do you think an ad-free version of Facebook would cost? Well, in order for any subscription service to work, pricing has to compensate for lost ad revenue. And according to an analysis run by TechCrunch, based on the number of Facebook users last year and how much the platform earned, $7 is the limit, which means a profitable model could run between $11 and $14 per month. Now, putting current events aside, here are some more practical tips. Sometimes when it comes to creating content, less is more. Actually, that's most of the time, unless you're a robot that's writing for another robot and still using keyword stuffing tactics from the last century. This is especially true when it comes to landing pages. It's tempting to create content for SEO and use certain keywords as many times as possible, but that doesn't always work for your readers, and they're a lot more important than any algorithm. So we found a cool infographic created by Unbounce. It includes helpful data and tips about the best way to create effective landing pages, and they're all about minimizing, making them simple, at least in theory, to implement. So these are the 4 most helpful tips that we found. The first tip is that each landing page should have just one call to action. Based on an analysis of more than 18,000 different landing pages, the ones with a single link average a 13.5% conversion rate, while landing pages with 2 to 3 links had conversion rates of 10 or 11. So the second tip is that landing pages should avoid using oversized images that's anything more than 1 megabyte. This is related to the loading speed. The bigger your image, the longer it'll take to load, which will lead to a higher bounce rate. The third tip is that landing pages with fewer words convert better. The data showed that landing pages with less than 100 words converted a lot better than landing pages with more than 500 words. And the fourth tip is about building trust. Customers don't always trust marketing content from businesses, so the best way that you can establish credibility for your brand is by having live customer testimonials directly on your page. Pages that have them usually convert at 12.5%, which is actually pretty high. And in addition to creating landing pages, Instagram also has a feature update. Users now have a new way to share stories. Instead of uploading photos and videos one by one, users can now upload up to 10 different photos and videos simultaneously on Instagram stories. You can edit them individually and order them as you like, but when you're finished, you can now just upload them all together. And that's it for this episode of the Social Recap. Don't miss out on the latest trends and highlights in social media and digital marketing news. Subscribe to the Social Recap on YouTube for inspiration, insights, tools, and tips. Thanks for tuning in to the Social Recap. I will see you next time.